a stipulated time frame. You can't teach a continuous, a class of, which is supposed to be taught at 2 hours. Then you start teaching from 7 up to 5 o'clock. Even though no, it's not going to. It's not going to. It will be like storytelling. Because if you're telling a story, you can't keep a story inside you. It's just for entertainment. So duration of lesson or time, you need to put stipulated time for the lesson. Again, a place where a school is located, location of the school. Mungeke school maboto school. Kambi speaker, Jesus mabuba zingoni. Kabina mungi ashigani. Family bali bijida fokoso bali. Where mitemo kuluzwa kabina mataba mche. Mungeke class vile bana. So you are also supposed to think about the location where the lesson is supposed to take place. So location of the school. So these are some of the factors that are supposed to be considered before choosing teaching aid. Those are the factors. I don't know if you have a question you could ask. Who is that? So the first thing for a teacher of religious education, just like anybody else, any teacher, but here since we are learning moral education, will say the first thing for a teacher of religious education, or moral education, to do what he's supposed to do, the first thing to do is to be what? To be familiar with the scheme of work. Scheme of work. You are supposed to scheme your work. You are supposed to scheme your work. In the scheme of work, there's topic, the core element, you call it, methods which you are supposed to use, referencing, and so on and so forth. So the first thing for a teacher of religious education, what he's supposed to do is to be familiar with the scheme of work, from where the topic to be taught will be taken. So when he's in the classroom, just like what I'm doing now, I'm supposed to have the scheme of work. I'm supposed to scheme my work. And the scheme of work is like a guide. It's like a guide. So age is another factor people consider while selecting an institutional material. So in most cases, pupils in primary schools may not be able to handle certain aids which may be easily handled by secondary school students. That's very true. You need to differentiate there. You need to differentiate there. There are, some stuff which is supposed to be delivered to only primary school students and not secondary school. So you can't bring secondary school staff and then start teaching the primary school students. So the age is not the same. So the perception of the staff itself will differ. The grasp of the staff itself will differ, not be the same. So in the same vein, where there could be more institutional aid, which may be difficult for the secondary school students to handle because of their inexperience, whereas such institutional materials may be easily handled by students in the tertiary education. Many of primary schools have now should be given secondary school materials. So too, secondary school materials are not supposed to be given the tertiary education materials. That's not all. You're not doing good to them. So each and every stage of education is supposed to receive the equivalent institutional materials which will be relevant to them. Here we are looking at the relevance of age against institutional materials. Age against institutional materials. The relevance. So the teaching aid to be used by the teacher, just like myself, the teaching aid which I'm supposed to be using must be readily available. The materials which I want to use in any lesson, if at all that lesson requires the use of aid materials, those materials are supposed to be available. So a good teacher must not select a teaching aid which will not be able to get. I should make sure, or any teacher should make sure, the moment he is trying to teach about a certain topic, what is he supposed to do? He should choose materials which can be easily obtained. You can get them easily. Though improvisation is allowed, sometimes if you fail to get those materials easily, which means you can improvise. So improvisation is allowed in the classroom of religious education. It is however better if concrete object is used for the students. Improvisation, if you don't have something which was supposed to be used in that class, but if you can improvise because of things that you no problem. It is allowed. Improvisation is allowed. And we call it a towel. Teaching aid for learning. Aid what you are teaching and can be used. Improvisation. So the time allocated, we talked about time allocated. You allocate time on each lesson. So the time allocated to a particular subject also determines which aid a teacher will choose, which aid a teacher will use. If time allocated to the subject is too small, it may not be advisable for the teachers to use teaching aid. If time is very small, don't use teaching aid. Because when you're using teaching aid, it will consume a lot of time. And here we are saying, if you have enough time, why should you bring cheap in? Or why should you bring in teaching aid? And yet time is not on your side. With a very little time of teaching, therefore, you're not supposed to bring teaching aid that will require a longer period. We also did mention about location of the school. Placement. Where are you supposed to put your school? Location or place where school is supposed to be situated is another important factor which determines or which shows the selection of institutional materials. The reason is that if you are teaching about fishing, it's better if you are bringing how are you supposed to catch a fish? Or how are you supposed to catch fish? If you want to use nets, when you want to demonstrate, it's better if you demonstrate if you are using a net to catch fish. Then it's supposed either to be near the river or lake. Kuntunda sunga kuzirimene kutoka katika neti, kwa demonstrate, kumuomba mpaka demonstrate kunyanja, kabla mbaka mtsinje. So school declared that if you want to demonstration, those who are fishing, so the reason is that there are some teaching aid which require the use of machines or electricity. Village, we may not get electricity, use of electricity. And where electricity is not available, it may be difficult to use such teaching aid. Could be market. Well, not that market. How can you demonstrate with that market? About with Chitayaka, but I don't know market. You have a to ask for that. You need to show people. You need to show students that are really in the problem. sin is believing. Sin is believing. We're trying to just so we did mention about those are the factors that can be considered when you want to use teaching aid or when you want to bring what phase I want to bring to students. We did mention about types of resources. We did mention about types of resources. The type which we looked at first was human resource. Human resource or resource person. Human resource or personal resource. Human resources in the teaching and learning of religions may refer to specialties in, take for instance, the Islamic religion or religious studies or Christian religious studies. Specialists in religious studies or in Islamic religious studies. If we're talking about human resources, personal resources, we look at those people who are specialists. If a Muslim, you want to teach something about Muslim or Islamic religion, you're supposed to bring in somebody who is a specialist in religion or Islamic religion. If you want to teach something about Christianity, you're supposed to bring an expert or specialist in Christian religious studies or other religions. If you're talking about Buddhism, bring a specialist in Buddhism studies. As well as experienced people in any of the religions which you want to teach about. Bring those people. This is vast experience. They have experience, vast experience. So such experienced people may include religious leaders in any of the religions. If you're a Muslim, practicing Muslims or Christians or traditionalists are the ones which you can consider to be highly experienced people. Highly experienced people. So this is what, in short time, I can say. Doing that in the class. So since these resource persons are experts, in their specific areas of the religion, they will be invited by the school. If the school has a topic to do with Islam or Islamic religion or studies, bring an expert in that area. If you want to deal with Christian studies or religion, bring someone who is an expert in that religion. So resource persons are experts in their specific areas of religion. They will be invited by the school to complement the teachers who are teaching. Take for instance, right here, I can go for a resource person if probably I have a topic to do with the moral education, more especially if I'm looking on the side of Christianity. If I know for sure I'm not an expert in that particular field, then I will invite through the school, I will invite maybe a pastor or a bishop to come and then lecture us on a certain topic which is very familiar to him, more familiar to him than myself. So again, likewise, if you want to teach something to do with Islam or Islamic religion or Islamic studies, definitely we will consult an expert, a person with plenty of knowledge in Islam, to come and then help me here. So at the same time, in the area of traditional Again, a resource person may be invited to come and give a talk on priesthood or worship festivals, deities, shrines, temples, sacrifices or invocations, songs, among others. This will be my duty to do so. Now, what would be the advantage? The advantage or advantages of using resource persons. We have talked about resource persons. Okay. What do you think? What would be the importance of inviting these resource persons? Advantages that can be taken from the use of resource persons. What can we benefit from using a resource person in a lesson? The importance of using resource person in a lesson. Expansion of knowledge. Materials. Okay. Advantage number one of using resource person in the lesson. It introduces innovation into the teaching of religion. Innovation like new ideas. Someone who is an expert will add more value, more knowledge. Some of the things which are not known to you to be known by this resource person because he's an expert, he's a specialist. Has got vast experience as compared to the one who is used to teaching every day. Knowledge. Suppose place something supposed to be so, likewise here, resource person, the advantage is going to introduce innovations into the teaching of religions. It makes learning easier. Resource person. Using resource. So human resource makes learning easier and lasts longer for the students. Remember, we are talking about the advantages that can be obtained from the use of the resource person. Using the resource person. It makes learning easier and lasts longer for the students. Again, it does what? It reduces teachers' work. A resource person. I'll bring a resource person, I'll be seated here. A resource person will be in front here, teaching on my behalf. I'll just be seated there. So what also benefits? The teachers also benefit. Because my work, the work which I was supposed to deliver during that particular day, will be delivered by a resource person. So it reduces teachers' work. A resource person does not make teaching to be monotonous, not boring. A resource person will not make teaching to be boring, no. You enjoy it. Maybe more than hours I could teach. So it doesn't make teaching to be monotonous because it's an expert, it's a specialist. It's good when again, since in most cases the resource person may be new to the students. He may be new, of course. We should not put in this whether to be the army are very attentive. More attentive than Bustamini interacting with you about this. So, since in most cases, the resource person may be new to the student. Therefore, it introduces variety into the teaching, and this consequently makes the student to pay attention to the resource person. Agakana ikintu kumvesera kwani. Agamvesera kwani. Muna namakusa mele mpisa makusa nitenge. Mapanga na ishwara. Kumakabulani mwanina alisaka kifesera. You pay more attention to him or to her. The first one, it was from human resource. It came from material resource. Material resource. No, from material resource. It came from the material, not material, from the human resource. It came from human resource. Now the second type is this one, which is coming from the material or non-human resource. It's coming from material resource or non-human resource, which is type number 2. Education Resource Center. Education Resource Center. A resource center is a place where relevant information concerning religion or education generally can be gathered, can be obtained from. Where you get the information from? That's the resource center. That's a resource center. That's where you get your information from. So apart from religious information that can be gathered from a religious resource center, various institutional materials or aid can also be found in a resource center, such as visual aid. Visual aid visual aid like films. You can be with film. Move to the library. Which library is commonly used by the family? What do you call that kind of a library? British country. British library. What do you call it? Library, we don't know this. National library. National library. So you go there, probably you visit them and then watch films from there. Sometimes they release audio visual aid. Audio, which means you listen. You listen. You get information by listening. The visual, you get information by watching, as well as three-dimensional aids, among other aids. So a good resource center should not only be located in a strategic place, but it must have all necessary things adequately in such a way that it will be able to serve some schools within the same area. I've given a very good example of National Library. National Library, a lot of schools can go there and then benefit from the same institution. You can benefit from that one. This one is an educational resource. You can benefit from either using what we call visual aid, or again audio visual aid, and other types. So the use of a resource center has advantages. Use of resource center, like for instance, National Library. I'm making a very good example of the National Library. Has got advantages. What would be the advantages of using National Library, for instance? Here, but we are talking about the use of resource center. So I've given you an example of National Library. Why do you think resource centers, educational resource centers, can be important? it affords the teachers, or it gives the teacher the opportunity to have access to highly expensive as well as electric operated institution A. It gives the teacher the opportunity, a chance. It gives the teacher a chance to have an access to highly expensive. You know, a teacher probably he could not be in a position, he could be unable to buy maybe a projector like this one. You can't buy a projector like this one to be using in the class. But if you take your students to a resource center, which is National Library, the lesson which you want to teach, you can use a projector which is already available there, and then deliver your lesson. You could not afford because it's expensive, but if you go to a resource center, you can easily get it. And again, you are in a village. The school is situated in a village. You want to use a projector. How can you use a projector once you don't have electricity? What you can do, if in a nearby area there is a resource center, which is the National Library or a district library, you can have an access to that one because there is electricity. At the same time, you have already available the visual aid or audio. Visual aid or audio visual aid. So you can use it. It doesn't belong to you, but you are very close to where you can find it. You can use that opportunity. Advantage number 2 of a resource center. Teachers have the chance to do what? To learn from the experts who are in the resource center, primarily to assist them on how to make use of some complex institutional aid. Okay. You've never used a projector before. You're a teacher. You've never used a projector before. Now, the moment you go to a resource center, you'll be in a very in a very advantaged position. You've never used a projector before, and you don't even dream of using that projector. Now, you go to a resource center where they have a projector. You find an expert there who can run that thing. You'll be in a position to learn on how to use that machine. Again, that's advantage. It's the advantage. So teachers have that chance of learning from the experts who are in the resource center, and then they'll assist you on how to make use of some complex instructional aid. Another advantage of resource center. It helps the students the opportunity, or it gives the students the opportunity to have access to various institutional aid. The resource center has got that opportunity. It can give that opportunity. It can give that chance. It can give you that chance. So you'll be in a position as a student to have an access to various institutional aid. Your school doesn't have institutional aid of that caliber, but the moment you go to an institutional center, you'll be in a position to benefit from that, to have that access. Again, the teachers also have the opportunity to diversify their institutional aid. Diversify, that is to say, they'll be in a position to use different institutional aids. Different institutional aids. You'll be in a position to do that. So we firstly looked at the resource person or the human resource, and the second one also looked at the material resource or non-human resource, which was resource center, the resource center. We are again on the second material resource or non-human resource. Material or non-human resources refer to various institutional materials or aids which a teacher of religion can make use of in his or her classroom. Non-human resources or resource, material resource. A teacher can use them in his or her classroom. Such institutional materials or aids may include, so examples of non-human could be the chalkboard. The chalkboard is not a human being, it's a material. Sometimes you can use maps, you can use maps, or you can use atlases, charts, pictures, Fresnel glass, models, film, radio, TV, tape recorders, textbooks, bulletin boards. Do you know bulletin boards? Where you post at different items, bulletins. This is a bulletin board. There's a number of bulletin board. That's a bulletin board. The authors, newspapers, projectors, among others. These are material resources. That's where you can get information from. You can get information from. So these materials, these teaching aids have got advantages. What will be the advantages of these things I've just mentioned? All these things. What do you think will be the advantages? So they say, all the disadvantages. Here we didn't give a disadvantage. Think of what is going on. The meaning of what will be the disadvantage? They say some teachers and students may leave the school under the pretext that they are going to the resource center. I think if I was in Tunisia, in our school too, there was a bit of a resource center. Like your school doesn't have a project. What will a teacher say or a student say? We have a resource center to manage municipal music. Boss is not going there. He just lied to you. Where are you going? Probably the management is going to ask your teacher. Mr. Mwasa, where are you going to? Oh, I'm going to the resource center because I'm looking for a project. I want to use the projector there together with my students. And yet you're not going there. So some teachers and students may leave the school under the pretext for none is in the booty and without project, which is not true. Or do we know to newspapers? What's not true? That's the disadvantage. Disadvantage number 2. These materials they are taken from the resource centers may not be retained. Some of them cannot be retained. But you will take it back, or not give it back. It's a mistake as well. It's a mistake as well. Again, if an tenant with dubious character, is put in charge of a resource center. All the institution aid put in the center may be removed also. That we know as it was available resource center. That only can be done. At our community. What shoulders and shoulders. This one, that's the second one. Now, examples of material resource. The chalkboard. No, don't have chalkboard. This is what we call this. If you go to my primary school, in the chalkboard. You have chalkboard. So this is one of the most important institutional aid being used in the class of the religious education. So the chalkboard may be portable or fixed in the classroom. It is on the chalkboard that the teacher has to write his notes. You also write a summary on the chalkboard. Chalkboard is very important because it's where teachers can write their notes. Chalkboard. What about maps and charts? Maps and charts. In bringing the lesson home to the students, maps and charts of a place can be used by the teacher. Such maps and charts can either be bought or prepared by the teacher himself. It can also be drawn on the chalkboard for a student or for students to copy into their notes. A teacher can write or can post on the chalkboard maps or charts in order for learners to copy from or to use as aid to their teaching and learning process. What about pictures? Pictures. These are important teaching aids in the class of religious education. So the use of pictures by the teacher helps students to understand better what they are being taught, and also helps them in keeping the information being given to them. If you bring pictures to learners, whatever they have seen during that particular lesson or in that particular lesson would not easily be eroded from the mind, from the brain. It will be kept for quite some time. What they have seen it, they have heard it, they have also seen it. So this is very, very important in the teaching and learning process. What about graphs? Flannel, graphs. This could be bought or prepared by the teacher himself. It is on this flannel graph that the teacher has to put his prepared flash cards, charts, or pictures that are cut out by him. So the use of flannel graph helps the teacher to practically illustrate his points as his teaching will become very real. So sometimes you cut some small pictures of what you want to teach, and then you put some in. Tape recorder. Do you know tape recorder? And from now, how long I record minutes now, so biblical stories may be recorded in excess for the use of the students in the class. Teachers may put on the tape recorder to enable students to hear the story. Yeah, that's it. What about the radio? Radio is another audio aid. Is an audio aid or audio help to teach and for teaching and learning of religious education. So when the religious stories are being discussed in the radio, it can be brought to the classroom for the students to listen to it. You just bring in the classroom here. If there's a topic which you know for sure was recorded or the radio is going to broadcast it, you can bring it in the class, just like this one, and then you will play in order to let learners listen to it. You will be listening. You will play it here, and students will be listening. What about the television? Television. This is another audio visual for the teaching and learning of religious education. So the use of TV will enable the learners the chance of seeing and hearing what is being discussed. TV, you watch it and then you listen at the same time. You watch it, was to have textbooks, those are the books which can be used. Whilst you are teaching, maybe you share them to learners, and learners in the classroom will be using. So some schools are rich enough to buy copies for religious education teachers. Only those schools that they have financial mass will be in a position to buy these books, textbooks, and then distribute them to teachers, and they'll be using them in classrooms. What about journals? The journal. I don't know if our library here has got a journal or journals. These, they are like books. Journals can be used by the teachers of religious education. So the use of journals helps students to have access to latest information about what the teacher is teaching. That's the journals. Newspapers, we know them. Now, what will be the advantage or advantages of all these material institutional aids? What are the advantages of radio, the advantages of TV, the advantages of textbooks, the advantages, all those material things, material things I've mentioned. All those material things I've mentioned. What do you think they are important? The advantage or the importance of these institutional aids, they're there to teach, to act like teaching aids which arouse the interest of the learners. They arouse. They add to the interest. They make learners to be interested in learning. They motivate learners. They spark learners. They bring interest, more interest of learning. Again, the use of teaching aid gives the learners direct experience. Seeing, because they are seeing directly. So that one gives the learners direct experience. They have heard, at the same time, they have seen it, how it's being applied. So direct experience. Again, the use of institutional materials. These materials, they prevent monotony, ambiguity. The way will be clean, will be smart, will be exact. That's the use of material, that's the advantage. Again, they help the learners, or they give the learners the opportunity or the chance to learn in a concrete way. It's a real way. So the students have the opportunity or the chance to get knowledge easily and direct. Because they have used the materials, they have seen the materials which are in relation to the topic or in hand. Again, it makes teaching to be a practical to the student. It's a practical, it's a direct one, it's a concrete way of delivering message to them. So, finally, it makes teaching to be practical to students. It makes learning to be easier for the learner. That's the advantage of these institutional aids. the advantage of these institutional areas. So, in conclusion, the use of institutional materials, for the teaching of religion is not only necessary, but it also promotes the students' understanding of the content. The moment you use these materials, you're teaching, at the same time, you're demonstrating. There's something to help whatever topic you're talking about or you've brought to them. It's not only good or necessary in teaching, but it also promotes the students' understanding. It promotes, yes, it can make teaching easier, but at the same time, it makes or it enables the students to understand the content more easier than when probably you could have done it without bringing those materials in the learning process. So that's the advantage of using institutional materials or institutional materials. I don't know if you have any question. Ask. If you don't have, children with special needs, Shika bwana kusaidia.